All right, guys, welcome back into another episode of the show Baseball Podcast presented by Beyond the Monster. I am your host, Andrew Parker, and today's episode, we're dipping into the Minnesota Twins system. I got Pierson Ohl on, and Pierson is fresh off winning a Player of the Week award for his 2 outing performance for Wichita, to which he ended up throwing 7 scoreless innings between the two. And we do talk about, obviously, his transition to the bullpen this year, which is new for him. Obviously, he's been a starter over his career, so that is something he's been getting used to, and he's doing pretty well this year. So obviously, it's something to monitor going forward. Before I get in further, though, wherever you're watching or listening to this, please like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, comment something. I always appreciate it. But yeah, without further ado, let me shoot you on to the interview with Pierson Ohl. All right, I am joined by Pierson Ohl of the Minnesota Twins organization, and I think it's our third time dipping into Minnesota this season. We've had Andrew Morris and CJ Culpepper also on as well, so we got another arm, and you're fresh off winning a Player of the Week award this past week, and that's exactly where I want to start. So you obviously had a very good outing. You were named the Double-A Pitcher of the Week there. So I guess what was working for you? And I guess how'd you feel during the outing?
Honestly, so funny fact, it was actually 2 outings. I threw earlier in the week, threw later in the week, and I felt great. I felt good in the first one. I felt great in the second one. I didn't realize that it ended up being like 7 innings pitched with no runs because I mean, when you throw twice, you just okay, I had a good one, and then you throw the second one, you're like, okay, I had a good one, but you put them together, and you're like, wait a second, I pitched kind of great this week.
Yeah, I feel like if I guess I should have looked at that, but you see obviously the total, like you said, the 7 innings, and you're just like, oh, that was a really good start last week. But
Yep.
happened across 2 different outings there. So I guess for you, obviously you've I think you've pitched out of the bullpen in every game but one this year. Is that something? I always see a lot of guys obviously like transition from starting to relieving or vice versa, whatever it is. Is that something that you've gotten comfortable with now, just like pitching out of the bullpen? Have you been doing it for a while?
Funny, I haven't been doing it for a while at all, and the first 2 appearances this year, I was like, with this new role, I was kind of struggling like with getting ready because as a starter, we got all day, and we know when we're pitching. If the game's at 7:05 or 6:35, like we know we're going to be on the mound then. But coming out of the pen, you don't know if it's going to be 8:30 or 7:15. Like you just don't know. So it's been a little bit of a learning period for me, but I feel like I've kind of understood how to get ready now and prepare. And I just think as the weeks go on, I'm going to get more and more comfortable, and I think I'll be in a better spot each week.
Yeah, I guess that's a very good point. And I think something that a lot of fans probably don't truly realize, looking back on your years, you were used as a starter all the way through last year pretty much. And so this year you're kind of in like a new type of thing for you. So I guess for you, like how long do you think that will truly take? I guess for, obviously as a starter, like you said, it's like, hey, I'm starting Tuesdays this week or I'm starting Wednesday. Like I know when my day is, but for you coming out of the bullpen, I guess like what kind of things have you implemented, I guess, in a routine to kind of be like, okay, I just got to be ready. I could pitch 3 times this week. I could pitch twice. Like, what are you doing, I guess, to prepare yourself for that?
Aside from managing the workload of playing catch and understanding that, hey, I might have to go again tomorrow. So just being ready in that aspect of not throwing too much pregame or whatever it may be, but also like in the sense of getting my body ready and like my mind ready. There's certain things that like there's certain cleats that I'm not going to wear on like an off day or something where it allows kind of my body to relax and just hang out and like decompress a little bit. Whereas if I'm hot that day and I'm going in, it's like, okay, my cleats are tied a little bit tighter. My belt's 1 loop tighter. Like everything's more compact. And it's like, it's those little like nuances that like trick that mind into thinking, okay, now it's go time. Like I'm going to be ready today, opposed to those days where your shoelaces are barely tied, so your feet are nice and relaxed, or it feels like you're not even wearing a belt, or like whatever it may be. Like there's little things like that where it's like the little tricks of the trade where you hang out down in the bullpen and there's guys that have been down there their whole career. You start to learn from those guys, and we got a couple older guys in our bullpen that I've been able to learn from, and it's been great and it's been super helpful.
So for yourself, obviously you're in that new role this year coming out of the bullpen and, something I've noticed about you in your career so far is, you don't walk a lot of guys. I feel like you always have a very low walk rate. Your strikeout, your K per nine this year is on track to be, around one of the highest you've had over the last few years, not counting your stint in Fort Myers this year. But so what kind of things have you noticed about yourself? I guess since moving to the bullpen, like, have you noticed that, your velocity might be up, or you're doing something different? Have you noticed anything about yourself?
Yeah, funny. The velocity has definitely creeped up a tick or two. Like that's been something that's super helpful just with missing bats with two strikes. But also I've learned that like I can afford to throw more balls and like expand with two strikes rather than just like worrying about going 6 or 7 innings deep, trying to stay in the zone, get early contact, in that sense. But yeah, like as I've been in these 2, 3, 4 inning stints, one, I can let loose a little bit more, but two, I can expand a little bit better in those 2-2, 3-2 counts or whatever it may be, and I can hunt for the strikeout rather than have that little cloud hanging over my head of, hey, if I don't go 5 or 6 innings, I wasn't a success today. So there's certain things like that that I've kind of had to understand. Like, hey, if I walk a guy or two this year, like I'll be okay because I'm gonna be able to punch more guys if I'm throwing off speed pitches in optimal locations. So yeah, there's certain things that I'm learning about myself that should help me in this new role.
Yeah, I feel like you brought up some, I guess, good points on, being in a relief role, that, you are seeing your stuff tick up a little bit. You are a little more comfortable and free. But I guess with that being said, obviously you always have guys like, I just really love starting. You love everything about it, the routine, just everything about it. But then some guys are like, you know what? I love coming out of the bullpen. Do you have like what are you thinking these days? Like, I know you're in a bullpen role now, but are you like, man, like I did like starting better, but relieving's not horrible. Like, how do you feel about it?
I think to answer that question right now, I think starting was my first love. Whether it's the future of my career or not, I think it'll always hold a special place in my heart. It was just seeing your name on the lineup card on the jumbotron, warming up in the bullpen, number 13, Pierson Ohl. Like, there's something special about that for sure. But also coming out of the pen, it's got its perks too. Like it's fun sitting down there with the pitchers, hanging out, getting ready. And then when you start warming up, it goes quiet in the bullpen because all right, now it's time to do business. And so there's that sense of like when that bullpen gate opens, whether people are running to the stands to get a hot dog or a beer or whatever it may be, but like for some reason you think everyone's watching you run in, and it just builds that little emotion. And there's 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 starting to be a little bit of love for that. But no, I think starting will always be my first love. But I mean, there's always a new challenge and a new love, and coming out of the pen's been fun.
Yeah, I had Nick Mears come on. He's pitching for the Brewers right now, and he'd mentioned that he was a starter all through the minor leagues, and then he went to the bullpen and when he made his major league debut, and he's been there ever since. And he's kind of like, dude, the amount of adrenaline that I get running from the bullpen to the mound is insane.
Uh-huh.
He's like, it's
Yeah.
just nuts. So I feel like it's cool. There's perks on both sides, but all right. So you obviously are off to a very good start this year, and that probably is a thing because of what you did over your off season. So what kind of things did you get into this off season? Like, what did you spend your time doing? Like, what was your focus?
My focus was velocity. So it's kind of been nice to see that creep up, knowing just the kind of work that I put in the off season. Uh, But I went to Driveline this offseason in Scottsdale, Arizona, which, I mean, if anyone's familiar with baseball, Driveline was kind of the front runner in creating velo. Um, and I've gone there for the last couple of off seasons, and I've loved my time there. I've learned so much. I think my body's adapted like in crazy ways that like even my routine is like changed drastically from what I thought it was to what it is now. And Driveline's been a huge part of that, and there's little things that I love or didn't love, but like my routine has changed completely based off the fact that like I was immersed into a new culture of plyo balls and weighted balls and all these different kinds of warm ups. But I think just the attitude of using your off season, and I don't want to say like an in season training, but like it's a completely different mission versus putting up numbers and like training to put up those numbers. And the off seasons at Driveline are like, hey, no one's trying to get outs right now. No one's trying to get strikeouts. We're trying to look at the radar gun. We're trying to look at the numbers on the track, man, and we're trying to make those as best as we can. So that way, when you do get to season, you do have to perform. That it's just easier. And I think we're seeing the results of that, and it's been great so far. And if we can keep this train rolling, we'd be in a really good spot.
Is it safe to say that you'll be back with Driveline this next off season?
I mean, there's a very good chance. I've enjoyed my time there. It's just a matter of, I mean, I'm getting married in October, so we'll see what the missus has to say. But there's a pretty good chance.
Yeah, I just got married this past October, so I understand that.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you as well. And it's always happy wife, happy life. So I totally understand that. But yeah, you weren't kidding that if you are a fan of baseball, you know what Driveline is. Their coaches are being hired all around Major League Baseball. And Driveline Kyle Bodie is obviously a friend of the show as well. So I'm like nothing but love to Driveline. But yeah, that's I feel like it's that Cressy. It's like you hear about, Tread, all these other places. It's like they're starting to take over the off seasons now. I feel like if you're major or professional baseball, you're probably at one of those places or something very similar to it. Let's talk about your spring training a little bit. Obviously, you have the Driveline experience during the off season. How did your spring training go? I guess obviously like coming out of Driveline and having that experience and then going in, you're obviously in Double-A now. You finished last year in Double-A, so you're kind of getting more closer to the radar up at the big league level. So how did spring training go for you this past year?
This past year was a little difficult. I battled. I mean, actually, I should say this. When I got back to spring training, things were great. Was throwing harder, shapes were good. Stuff was breaking late, and that's as a pitcher, we love late break. But had a little bit of a, a spurt where I was shut down. Just kind of was dealing with something with the body where I had to take a rest. Um, but building back up, I think it was great. Like I had a set routine. There was no hiccups. And then when I started facing hitters again, I was like, oh gosh, I like you get the sense of like I missed it so much, and like you weren't even gone for that long, but you're like, gosh, I missed it so much. And I guess my spring training was basically the end of spring training, and all the hitters were in their peak shape, and they're getting ready to go start their season. Like me pitching for the first time in a couple weeks, I was like, okay, like how am I going to match up with these guys? And I found some success early, and it kind of just builds that confidence of like, okay, I've put in all the work, and whether I took a week or 2 or 3 weeks off, like that foundation and the work that we did in the off season is still there, and it was great to see that, especially early when I started building back up. And I think I've just continued to progress and try to get better each and every day.
Yeah, I was going to say, I did see, obviously, you started the year there in Fort Myers, pitching in Low-A for the 2 outings, but it seemed like it was a very quick, 2 outings. They both were fantastic, and then you shot back up to Wichita. So I feel like it wasn't too long of a process there once you were back in game action. So for yourself, obviously being in Double-A, you're back this year. Like I said, you had a small sample size last year, but what has it been like for you? I mean, have you since you have gotten to Double-A, have you noticed like anything different about hitters? Are you starting to find out new things about obviously getting closer to Triple-A? Like, I guess how has your experience been so far?
Yeah, I mean, Double A is that level where you start to see some big time prospects or guys with big league time, and you really start to measure yourself up against the competition that's either been there and done that, or that Major League Baseball projects to do it in the next 2 to 3 years. And you learn a lot about the hitters just as you climb levels from Low A to High A, and then you get to Double-A, and guys they're taking pitches more. They're taking good sliders down. They're taking good changeups over the plate, and they're doing damage on the ones that you leave over the middle. So it's like it's finding that balance of I need to be in zone or they're just gonna walk. And like it's such a good cat and mouse game. And I think as what I've noticed is as you go up, the cat and mouse game gets more intense. there's no 7, 8, 9 hitter anymore. Everyone's a 2, 3, 4 hitter in Double-A, and just giving those guys that kind of respect it keeps you locked in, and I think it's a beautiful part, and I'm excited to see what those higher levels are like.
And so you're obviously a guy that got up to Wichita in 2023, and so you've logged over. I think you're well over 100 innings now at the Double-A level. So for yourself, how hard is it as a minor league guy? I have a ton of minor league guys on, and I ask this question to a lot of them. But what do you do, I guess, to take the aspect out of it of trying to play GM and just be like, I got to stay where my feet are. I probably should be up in AAA in St. Paul right now, but I'm not. I just got to stay here, keep doing my thing, and let everything else take care of itself. How hard is that as a minor league to put that aside and just keep doing your thing?
I mean, I would say that's one of the biggest challenges of minor league baseball is having success and still wearing the same uniform, because everyone hears about, oh, this guy got hot for a month and now he's in the show, or this guy got hot for a month and he got promoted. And it's like you start to ask that question, well, why hasn't that happened to me? Like, why am I not moving up? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm better than this guy, or I've had more success than this guy, or I'm not, like, I haven't been on the IL like this guy, or like whatever it may be. And like that's been a huge challenge for me. And it's like I'm going about it with the process of like, you don't want to get to a level that you're not ready for. And like you see guys all the time that make their major league debut and then they're right back down in the minors, and it's a year or two before they're back. And it's like, whether that's with AAA or the actual big leagues, it's like when you get your opportunity and you get your chance to be there, you want to stick. And so it's like I may not be in AAA now, but like I'm having that mindset of like when I do get there, it's going to be a no brainer, and like I'm going to stick, and I'm going to be that guy. So it's a challenge, but like if you have the right mindset, and it makes it a little bit easier. I'm not going to say it makes it completely easy, but it definitely gives you a sense of like, okay, I'm going to continue to work and I'll be ready when it comes.
Yeah, it's a very underrated part of minor league baseball. Like, I mean, and you could just see it from like a fan's perspective or, non-player wise, and you try to play GM and be like, this guy should be promoted, this guy should be here. Like, and it's just like, you drive yourself crazy. I can only imagine what players feel like trying to do that as well. I got two questions left for you, and I'll let you slide. And I think I know this answer that you're about to give me, but you have a Monday off day every week in minor league baseball. What do you do with your free time?
I mean, if you didn't circle golf on the bingo card, then you were completely wrong. I am a huge advocate for playing golf on the off day. Um, Heck, I'll play golf during the week if we get an early enough tee time. But no, I love golf. I'm addicted.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured obviously you were at college out in Arizona. There's plenty of courses out there. I think you're a California guy, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay. Plenty of courses out there and amazing courses out in both of those neck of the woods. So I kind of figured you were in your
Yeah.
pitcher.
Nothing but good weather too. So I'm playing year round.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not there Arizona in the summer though. I don't know if I could golf when it's 120 degrees or whatever it is, but yeah, I figured you're a pitcher. You're from the West Coast, Arizona area. You spent a lot of time out there. I figured you're a golfer.
Oh yeah.
But what is there anything else you do? Obviously, there's another avenue. Guys always tell me they are. But is there anything else you like to do? If say it's raining and you can't go out and golf, what are you doing?
If it's raining and I can't go out and golf, we like to make a joke and we say retail therapy. We'll go walk around to Shields or something and see what jumps out at the store. But other than that, just hang out. We'll play some cards in the clubhouse. Uh, I mean, I don't know. Just we're guys. We like to have fun. Sometimes we'll find a simulator inside. Sometimes we'll literally just hang out and do nothing all day. And it's like, gosh, I kind of wasted this off day. So no, we like to make the joke of retail therapy, and when it's raining and you can't go play golf, you need therapy.
So you're big into playing golf. Do you watch golf at all?
Yeah, I just love everything about golf, which is crazy
Okay.
because my dad didn't let me play growing up because it would ruin my baseball swing. But little did he know I was going to throw the baseball for a living and not hit it.
I've had some position players come on the show and say I don't golf because I think it'll mess with my swing, and I thought it was just a conspiracy theory, but it's
No,
seemed like
whether it is or not, I think enough people believe it that it's becoming reality.
okay. Well, my question was with you watching golf. I was always curious. So, obviously, like, you had the Masters this year was incredible. Obviously, PGA was pretty good with Scotty winning it. You got the U.S. Open here, in, I think, in a week and a half or whatever it is. How does a player like yourself that has games all weekend? I know, obviously, the games on Sunday are early and you get to get out, but how do you get to watch the majors and things like that? Like, when you have a playing schedule like you do, because obviously, like, you probably can't watch like much of Saturday's action because you're playing. Can't Maybe
Uh-huh.
you miss Sunday half of it. So how do you watch it?
Gosh, I don't know if MLB would appreciate this answer, but there are cell phones occasionally in the clubhouse or in the tunnel, I would say, not on the field. But we're getting updates and we're watching, but like it's always on in the clubhouse. So if you're ever in the clubhouse in the training room, if you happen to be getting treatment during a game, the Masters is on.
Okay.
We're excited for Oakmont next week. I mean, yeah, there's ways we go around it. I mean, sometimes the iPad's used for TrackMan, sometimes it's used for checking the leaderboard. I don't know.
All right. Well, I don't think my show is big enough that I'm going to have Major League Baseball calling it, so it's okay. We're good
Well,
for right now.
hopefully they dig through the archives one day and they're like, wait a second, we got to talk to this Pierson Ohl guy.
Yeah, no, you should be good. I think we're safe. But all right, I got one question left for you, and I will let you slide. Obviously, you're fresh off winning Player of the Week. I know that probably wasn't something that you went into the week and you're like, I really want to win Player of the Week. I know that probably wasn't top of mind, but let's just say we're getting a lot closer to midseason in the All-Star break. Usually, that's about halfway point of the year. So, for yourself, do you have any other like early season goals that you want to hit by then? Whether they're statistical goals or they're like personal goals, velo, anything. Like, do you have anything do you want to accomplish by midseason?
I don't know about by mid-season. I know there's kind of just a personal goal of like the K per nine. I would love to sit around that 9 mark, maybe even creep into the 10s. I think that's the forefront on my mind. Like if I'm punching guys out, whether it's at 94, 95 or 92, 93, I think punching guys out it's objective and it's like if you're getting strikeouts, you are overmatching those hitters. So I think that's my goal as of right now. And if we want to put a mark on it at the All-Star break of, hey, we want to maintain that 9K per 9 to the All-Star break and then build off it from there, I would say that could be on the bulletin board of a goal for mine.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, can't really argue with strikeouts, man. I feel
Yeah,
like those are never a bad thing to have. So, all right, Pierson, I very much appreciate all the time. Obviously, wishing you best of luck for the rest of 2025, wherever you do end up towards the end of the season, hopefully AAA. But yeah, thank you so much for all the time.
absolutely. Thanks, Andrew.